YouTube, what's up? Jamar here, Vegas Sense. And I got a new video here today. And this one, it's not gonna be an Alexandria fragrance video. It's not gonna be a regular designer fragrance video. This one is gonna be from another clone house that actually contacted me on my Instagram page. The name of the house or the company is Scentual Obsessions. They have an Instagram page. I believe it's sensual_obsessions. And they reached out to me on a post that I made on an Alexandria fragrance. I believe it was just me kind of posting like my scent of the day or whatever. And they commented, it was basically like, hey, check us out or whatever. So we started DMing back and forth, and I basically told them like, hey, if you all send me some stuff, like some samples or whatnot, I'd be more than happy to go ahead and, try you all's product out and, kind of give a video review of my honest opinion of, the fragrances or whatnot. So, they kind of asked me, okay, well, what are some fragrances that you like or whatever? And so I named off a few. And so they sent me their interpretations or clones or copies of Tom Ford's Fucking Fabulous. They sent me Creed Aventus and then Dior Sauvage. Okay, so I made sure to name fragrances that I either have the original fragrance of, or I have like a copy or clone, or have smelled copies or clones of these through either Alexandria fragrances or from other clone houses. So all three of these, I've smelled what they should smell like. I have not smelled the original version of the Tom Ford one, but I do have the Alexandria fragrance version of it, which is fantastic. And that smells identical to their version of the Tom Ford. So that was something that kind of had me thinking, okay, that's pretty good. They pretty much smell identical. The fragrance that I have on right now is their version of Creed Aventus. And what I can say is it does smell very similar to Creed Aventus. Just smelling it off the cap, I would say that if I smell this off of the cap and then I go in there and get my sample of Creed Aventus and smell that off the cap, they pretty much smell identical. Now, when you spray these, I would say initially they don't necessarily smell exactly like the opening does, and that's because these supposedly are like a really, really high concentration, or they have a really, really high concentration of oil in them. So from what I understand, they're supposed to have 200% more oils, 80% less alcohol, and no water when compared to name brand originals. And when you spray the stuff on, like especially if you spray it on your hand or whatnot, you can tell that it's extremely oily. And I mean, I'll kind of spray this on my wrist here. I don't know if the camera will be able to catch it or not, but I'll go ahead and spray it on my wrist. And you can just kind of you can see it like running down my hand. I don't know if the camera is getting that or not, but it's like dripping down my hand. And with most, I guess regular colognes or anything like that, you won't see it dripping down your hand. Your skin will pretty much absorb it. So you can see like the oil is literally kind of running down my hand or whatever. And just if you touch it, it's extremely oily. Even way more so than Alexandria fragrances, which all of those are parfum extract or extracts. Whatever this concentration is definitely a higher oil concentration than that. So because of that, I would say, again, when you first spray these fragrances on, you don't get the same type of feel that you get as far as the opening goes, I would say, with, something that has more of a like alcohol based concentration or whatnot. Um, Not saying that it doesn't smell like the fragrance that it's trying to mimic, but it I don't know, to me, in my opinion, it doesn't have as much depth as the opening would in the original version of Creed Aventus, or even in Alexandria's Brasilia or Brasilia Privé. um I don't know, it sort of just feels more concentrated and kind of flat. um I guess, if that makes sense. But one thing that I will say about this, their version of Creed Aventus, is it does smell just like Creed Aventus, in the dry down at least. I would say this one smells more so like a smokier batch of Creed Aventus. I wouldn't necessarily say that it smells as smoky as Club de Nuit Intense Man. It's not really that smoky, but I would say it's probably along the lines of, if anyone has smelled the Brasilia from Alexandria Fragrances, I would say it's probably just a tad bit smokier than that. So possibly, because Alexandria Fragrances has a fruity version of Brasilia and a smoky version. I haven't smelled the smoky version, but I would assume that this probably is on along the lines of that. Okay, so that's that one. As far as the uh, Dior Sauvage goes, um, again, when you first spray this on, you're not really getting the exact same opening as like the Dior Sauvage EDT, which I believe is what this fragrance more so is trying to mimic, is the EDT version. When you spray this on, you do get like that kind of spicy black pepper that you get in Dior Sauvage, and it's definitely really, really fresh as well. I would say that, but it's not exactly the same, I would say, as Dior Sauvage, the actual Dior Sauvage. Because this is a much higher concentration of oil, I think that makes it smell just a little bit different. But once it actually dries down, it actually does a really, really good job of mimicking, again, Dior Sauvage. And then, as far as the Tom Ford fragrance that they sent me, like I said, when I smell this, if I were to smell this and Alexandria Fragrances Fantastic right next to each other, they smell identical, exactly the same, no differences. Um, and I would say even when I spray this on me, they still smell identical. So like I said, I haven't smelled the original Tom Ford fragrance, but I mean, I would assume that it can't really smell too much different from either this or the Alexandria version. Now, the one thing about this house that is actually pretty good is you can actually get 2-ounce bottles of their fragrances on their website for $25, which that's pretty good. Alexandria, their designer fragrances go for anywhere from, like, I think 32 up to, I think some of them might be as much as like maybe $37.99. And then like all of their niche fragrances are all, for the 2-ounce bottles, they're all $62.99. Now, their website has hundreds of fragrances on here. And they do have niche fragrances on here. I see they have, some Bond number nines on here. Let me see if they have, yeah, obviously they have Creed. Um, so yeah, it looks like they have Creed Virgin Island Water. They have uh, Creed Viking, Silver Mountain Water, Millesime Imperial, Himalaya. I mean, they have pretty much, Green Irish Tweed. They have, most of the most popular creeds on here. I'm just looking for some other kind of niche fragrances. And I'm actually just gonna go ahead and search here. Parfum de Marly. All right, so no Parfum de Marly's on here. I'm checking for Xerjoff. No Xerjoffs. I'm trying to think of some other niche fragrances. Let's see, Roja. No Rojas. So, yeah, from what I can see here, most of the fragrances on their website are all pretty much yeah, they're all pretty much designer fragrances. I see they don't have Amouage. But, again, like I said, they do have Creed. They do have, Tom Ford, which, they do have the Lost Cherry. They have Tobacco Vanille, Tuscan Leather, White Patchouli, Cafe Rose. So, I mean, they don't have all of the, Neroli Portofino, Oud Wood, Plum Japonais. So, they've got a decent amount of, different fragrance options on here. But like I said, a lot of them are not really like high-end niche fragrances. They're pretty much all designers. But again, based on, I would say, the accuracy of smell that I get from both, this Creed Aventus and then the Dior Sauvage and even the Tom Ford, I would say that for $25 for 2 ounces, it is pretty worth it. So far, the longevity, from what I could see, has been sort of average. I would say for as high as the oil concentration is on this, I think it could probably do a little bit better. I think I'm probably averaging around maybe, I don't know, 6 to 7 hours or so as far as the longevity goes. Maybe it's just my skin, but I'm not getting like, 12 plus hours longevity out of these fragrances. Not so far anyway. But again, for $25 for 2 ounces, I mean, that's, especially for the accuracy of the smell that you get, I would say that's definitely worth it. So definitely go ahead and check them out. Their website, it's not the most professional looking website. So like if you're comparing it to something like Alexandria Fragrances or even Dua, it's not really up to par with those types of websites. And I mean, even the link here to their website is perfume412.wix.com/Scentual Obsessions. And, when you go to the website, it even has a banner going across saying like the site was designed with Wix.com. So it's definitely, not the most professional looking site or whatnot. And I mean, for whatever fragrance you want, you have to go through a long list of the different fragrances that they have. And each fragrance has like a 3-digit number next to it. That's basically how you choose which fragrance you want, you want to actually buy. But again, as far as the scent goes, and the price, I would say it's still worth at least checking out. You know, I'm gonna definitely go on there and probably buy a 2 ounce bottle of something. I don't know what yet. But I'm definitely gonna try a full bottle of one of their fragrances and see how I like it. And I'll definitely give a review on that. But definitely, again, check them out on Instagram, Scentual_Obsessions, or their website, which is perfume412.wix.com/Scentual Obsessions. All right, so again, check them out. Jamar here, Vegas Sense. I'll see you on the next video.